1580 103.3 WPKY. Coffee talk this morning. Are you ready?
We're ready. We've got
a
visitors.
house full today.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we've got some of my best friends in the whole wide world. Brother Lynn Williams is going to be here. Brother Wesley Curtis will be here. Brother Harrell Riley will be here. And
Tori Hammett, I think, is going to drop by with Brother Harrell as well.
It's going to be a very jam-packed day, which is good because we're going to figure out where to go, what to do, who's going to be there, and all that good stuff
It's like
for
the old
the summer.
WPKY Baptist Hour.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's the way I like it. Let's see here, 8:06. So we'll be back in just a moment to start with that. And we're going to tell you a little bit about cooling our community and where you can drop out those fans next in WPKY. Well, I grabbed the wrong paper. That was slick, wasn't it, right there? All right, partly sunny this morning, gradually clearing by the afternoon. Sunny, high 77 tonight, clear, low around 54 tomorrow. Increasing clouds with a high near 76. On Wednesday, chance of showers and thunderstorms returning in the afternoon. Partly sunny otherwise, high near 77. Partly sunny again today with a high of 77. 70, Tess and Ty, 1580 103.3 WPKY. 1580 103.3 WPKY. Good morning. Coffee Talk 812 with Tess and Ty and Brother Wesley Curtis and Brother Lynn Williams. I'm telling you.
Good morning.
I've got it lined out this morning. I know who everybody is. I know where they're all at.
We're on top.
We're good to go.
Yeah.
It's a Monday.
Good stuff.
We're going to start out with Brother Lynn Williams. And, of course, you are over at the recycling center, correct?
Ma'am.
Get
Come
close
on,
to that
man.
mic there, Lynn.
We got to get you closer.
There you go.
There we go.
All
I
right.
found you now.
Scared somebody to hear me.
No, that's fine.
So we're going to start out with you at the recycling center first. You've got like appreciation and some things like that going on, right?
Well, we got a lot of things going on right now. We're still in our county road cleanup. So if you see all them bags up and down the road, that's people that works for us. We clean up all the county roads, state roads this time of year. We've just got a lot of things going on. I'd like to let everybody know that they need to watch for our people that's cleaning up, that, they're on 91 right now going towards Hopkinsville. You're liable to see them anywhere. We do this through a contract labor type thing. They work 40 hours a week. But if anybody was to see anything that needed to be cleaned up as far as people throwing things out, I haven't heard anything about really any dump sites that around anywhere here recently. But if you see anything, I know people's bad about throwing out furniture and throwing their trash out and different things. If you'd let us know, this is the time we need to get all that cleaned up and get all that picked up. We've got people out on the roads that'll take care of all that. But if you'll let us know where it's at, we'll see that we get it took care of as soon as possible. We do have a compost that we've got finished up. I know we're running a little behind, but we had to deal with the state. Since we're county affiliated, we have to have all our compost. It has to be tested through the state to make sure that it has no metals, no chemicals, or anything in there that could hurt you or your plant life or anything like that. But it has been ready for the last couple of weeks. A lot of people's been calling about it, but I wanted to let everybody know that it was ready. We get $15 for a backhoe bucket or $10 for a skid steer bucket. So if you need any of that for your garden or your flower beds or whatever, and it's all made out of the leaves that come from the city. When the city does their leaf pickup, they bring us all the leaves and things.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, so you have somebody come in and take a sample, and then it gets off to a lab somewhere to make sure it's ready to roll, correct?
We send it to McCoy and McCoy Labs at Madisonville. They work through the state, so we send them a sample every year, and they test all that for us.
That's some fancy stuff right there.
Well, got to make sure there's nothing
My
like
goodness.
heavy metals and stuff in there that might,
So and now you have the mobile recycling places that you can, the
Yes.
drop-off locations as
Yes, we
well,
do.
correct?
Yeah, we have one at Farmersville Store, or Cat's Den. Most people know it by the Cat's Den. And here recently we have put 2 out here in front of Cash Advance and things. So there are 2 out there on that parking lot there. And
Makes it
things.
convenient.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that they can, anything we take, you can put in there. Plastic, paper, cardboard, is the main things that goes in them. But, if we take it, you can put it in there as long as you put it in a separate bag. We do not take any glass anymore.
no glass.
No glass at all. I've talked to people in 3 or 4 different states. Nobody, nowhere is taking any glass.
What about these things, Tess? I know sometimes there's old paint cans,
Right.
car batteries, things such as that. And folks
Old
have those.
pipe.
Those things have those kind of things that potentially have hazardous chemicals or different types of things. How does it work for those kind of items?
Paint cans, as long as it's a water-based paint, if you can put it in a hard state or put dirt or whatever and make it hard, you can throw it in your regular trash.
Okay.
It just can't be in a liquid form. Now, anything oil-based or enamel or things like that is not water-based, you're supposed to get rid of it in a different way. I'm probably next year, I'm going to do probably a hazardous waste deal. And I'll tell you, I've had a lot of people talk about that, and I hate to be negative on anything, but I done it one year, and it went over pretty good. We had like 40-something participants, and then I done it 2 more years in a row, and the next 2 years in a row, I had 15. Now, I understand that it's a good thing for a lot of people, But you got to understand, this cost me $5,000
For the hazardous?
minimum, $5,000, or it could be more than that according to what they have to do to get rid of it. So, it cost me $3,600 just to get them here, and $3,600 is a lot of money for 15 people.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I don't want to be negative, and I know it's good for some people, but whenever you weigh it out, these guys come all the way from Cincinnati, and the last time that they came, we do it from 8 to 12 on a Saturday. Well, we started at 8. At 9:30, he was sending his people home.
Oh, my.
So these people drove all the way down there and turned around, went home an hour and a half.
Right.
So how can we help you with that next time you have one?
I don't know. We do
Show
everything we can to
Get the word out
get
about
the
it.
word out, get it advertised. The radio station has been good about telling it. Different. We passed out things, handed things out. We put up things different places to advertise it. I don't know. We have the thing about it is you'll have 100 people call about it.
Right.
And then when you put it on, you won't have 15 show up.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be negative or anything like that. But, I have a lot of people ask me, well, why didn't you do one this year? $5,000 for 10 or 15 people is a lot of
Right.
money.
What is some of the important things that normally maybe they would learn in that they need to know?
Well, a lot of things like light bulbs and fluorescent lights and things like that, you're not supposed to throw them in the trash. Any kind of oil-based paint, any kind of chemical, old gas jugs, you're not supposed to throw them in the trash. Anything that had oil in it, you're not supposed to throw that in the trash.
What do you do with it?
And everything. And see, that's the thing. That's when you need to bring stuff like that to me.
That's when the hazardous
Whenever
material.
we do the hazardous
Gotcha.
material.
Gotcha.
See, anything like that, anything that had any kind of chemical, if it had Roundup, bug spray, or anything you would spray around your garden or around your yard, anything that had any chemical like that cannot be recycled at all because of,
the material that was inside the container.
that's right. And the thing about it is a lot of our plastic goes and they make water bottles out of it. They make many different things out of it, and a lot of it even goes to make polyester. And people don't understand polyester is plastic, and and so
I don't want to wear bug spray. I don't
that's
know
right.
about you.
And if it had a chemical in it, and they made polyester out of it, somebody could have some kind of reaction to it or
Right.
something of the nature.
Well, Roundup,
and so,
they
and,
4WD,
but,
that could sting a little.
But there's a lot of, there's a lot of things that's household items that needs to be disposed of, but it needs to be disposed of properly. That's like the extension office, the county extension office. They do a chemical jug for the farmers once a
Right.
year, and they do it at AgriChem. It's similar to the same thing that we do with our hazardous waste, except ours is for households.
Right.
And these guys that come in, now, I know it sounds funny and it don't make sense, but these guys that come in, they bring everybody in that does a specific type thing. They even bring in a man that deals with explosives,
Oh, wow.
and I mean, who would think,
Well, just about anything can be an explosive, though, when you've left it in the right scenario.
Some sort of chemical reaction
yeah.
could take place.
Mm-hmm.
What about now? You also, this has been very successful. Your tire recycling, that's been very successful.
We
in
just
the past,
done a
hasn't it, Lynn?
tire recycling. We disposed of about a little over 40 ton of tires.
Oh, wow.
Which is a lot of tires. We get that in a grant every year. Everything we do through a state grant. Everything that's done. A lot of people think that the county has a lot of money invested in the recycle center. The county has a budget for the recycle center, and it mainly pertains to upkeep. It mainly pertains to pay scale and things of that nature. But everything we do, every piece of equipment we got is gotten through what they call a pride grant through the state. So in the last, not counting what we'll get this year, in the last 3 years I've got almost $200,000 worth of equipment.
My goodness.
Through state grants. So yes, the county has a lot of money invested in it to a certain extent, but then again, no, we don't have that much money invested in it. It kind of takes care of itself because these green trailers that you see sitting around, and we got some silver trailers that take recycled products. See, that was all bought through a grant. All our semi trailers, we got a skid steer, we got all kind of different equipment that we use. So whenever you think about this, you got to understand that if you don't use it, it's your tax dollars being spent. I mean, I hate to put it that way, but your tax dollars is what is supporting the recycle.
What kind of?
It's a worthwhile thing, especially when we're trying to teach our kids the right way to do this. I mean, that's something they teach them in school. That's something that they see a lot visually on TV and that sort of thing. And we used to hear and see a lot more of it than we have here lately. I think we've kind of gotten used to it being there, and now it's not the new thing anymore, so we're not pushing it as hard. So I mean, is that something that maybe we need to do, is get the kids more aware and get them involved in it again?
I do a lot with the youth and different ones, and we have kids that come to the recycle, and we explain to them. But the biggest thing is a lot of the younger people and a lot of people today has never been to the local landfill. I mean, when I growed up, we had a landfill. And they don't understand, throw it in the trash and it goes to a landfill. Well, to them, it's no big deal. But now, if you've ever been to the local landfill and seen what takes place and see how much property and things like that it takes, it's a big ordeal, And a lot of people don't understand when any landfill shuts down, it has to sit dormant for 75 years. I mean, they bring dirt in, cover it up, and it has to be dormant. And after that time, then it has to be tested. So it could be who knows how long before you can ever even do anything with that property.
So it doesn't just go back to normal magically?
Nope.
What?
No, it don't work that way. But but it takes a long time to be able to. So you consider right now, I've looked it up. Right now in the United States, we have right at 300 landfills in all the United States, and it takes up I think it was like 7 billion acres. So you figure 7 billion acres, and they shut it all down. They got one landfill that's over 500,000 acres. So you figure if they shut that landfill down, how much property is going to be set dormant for how many years? Who knows?
So if they take the kids out to the landfill, so that they can understand and visually see, can they take them where you're at as well and let them see, okay, well, here's the alternative. This is recycling.
Yeah, we have different groups that has been to the recycle with young kids and things, and we've explained to them about the recycling and how you save the earth and the things that you can do. And I understand sometimes it's a little bit, I guess you could say, out of the way to do something like that, to separate things and stuff like that. But I'll take probably 3/4 of your trash, that you can recycle. So you'll have very little trash.
What can we do if we haven't really recycled before? I know you separate your plastics. So tell us about what we can do to start recycling. If we've never been to the recycling center, what can we do?
Well, a lot of things you can do. You can look at the products you buy, and you can look and see, most everything anymore says to recycle. It has a number on it. Now you got to understand also that we're a small recycling company. So there's some things that can be recycled that we can't do because we're not set up to do things like that. But and I know a lot of people that set up a small can for plastic and things for cardboard and things for their aluminum cans and things like that. But you just separate your stuff and try it for 2 weeks and see what weighs out between what it costs you to get rid of it and what it costs you to recycle it. Everything we do for free. We'll take anything from electronics. Now, electronics, we have to charge a small fee because it costs us to get rid of anymore. We used to be able to do it for free, but now we can't, since most of your companies have sold out or merged with somebody else, they charge us to take it now. We take burn oil. I mean, if you change oil in your car, you change oil, tractor, lawnmower, whatever, we can take all of that. All of that is done for free. We can take most generally anything that you use. Now, we do not, and I understand You know, people go buy paper plates and they're handy. They cannot be recycled. Paper plates and things like that, and paper cups and things like that cannot be recycled, because once you eat off of it, once you drink out of it, it's considered to be contaminated. So, you know, you wouldn't want somebody with some kind of
That's not very nice to say about Ty.
or something to eat off a plate, and then they recycle it, and then you get it.
Right.
You know,
They'll just go in the trash can,
so
right?
it needs
What
to
you're
go.
saying.
Things like that need to go in the trash. We do get some of that stuff at times, but things like that do need to go in the trash. But it's hard to explain to somebody that's never recycled exactly how to do it.
Well, I'll tell you, a good way to start in my house is aluminum cans.
Yep.
I have a mountain about this tall. It's summertime. Kids are at home. They're not in school. You get Mount Everest.
That's a great place to start.
Yeah,
is with
right. Of
aluminum
soda cans and that sort of thing
And
being
that's
around
like
the house.
That's like Ty was talking about a while ago, batteries. Batteries is recyclable, but take them to a recycle company. They'll buy them. You know, a car battery's worth $2 to $3.
Really?
You know, by itself. I mean, you can, you know, car batteries and things like that. All of that you can sell to a recycle company. You know, now we also, I mean, we do take any kind of scrap metal as far as for, you know, appliances, you know, anything like that. Anything that's scrap metal, we will take it. But now you have to consider that we are not a recycle company. We're county affiliated. Everything we do is free. Most everything. I'll take it back. Most everything except our electronics and the compost that we sell. And of course, all this money goes back into the recycle, you know, into the county. So everything that we charge you for goes back in the county. Now, we don't buy scrap or anything like that. A lot of people donate it. A lot of people bring it because it's easy to get rid of.
Right.
But all that money does go back into the county. We sell it all. We've sold about $500 worth of scrap this year so far. I mean, I know scrap is down, but we've done pretty fair.
Hey, that's something, though.
Sure it is.
I work with Marion, the scrap guy from Marion and things, and he's real good to me, and me and him's worked out a deal on getting rid of our scrap and things, so all of that works out good.
Hey, I appreciate that, though, because that's your tax dollars working for you, you know? And when we can look at you and we can say, well, where's it going? And you can tell us exactly where it's going, I think most of us would appreciate that. And we appreciate you coming out today. And we're going to change gears here in just a second. I'm not going to let him leave. He's got a little bit of more info. We're going to turn on the Baptist half hour here in just a second and start rolling them through. We'll be back just a second. It's 8:30 and 71 on WPKY. 1580 103.3 WPKY. And should be gorgeous day today. High is 77. That's not bad at all. 71 so far. Sunshine. Good day to mow the yard, huh?
Yeah, if it's dried up a little bit.
Honey-do list?
From the over the weekend rains, because it was a weird forecast. It kept looking at the low pressure system around. It just kept spinning and rain a little bit. Then it'd get sunny. Then it'd rain a little bit more.
It's like, I know you want to go out. Yeah. Wait a minute. No.
It'll be pouring down
Negative,
rain.
Nancy.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere.
That's right.
Okay, well, we've got Brother Wesley Curtis in here, and we've also got Brother Lynn Williams in here. And that's why we said we're going to switch gears. And, if you ever hear me talk about my crazy Baptist preacher, that is Lynn Williams. From out at Sugar Creek. We've got homecoming coming up, don't we?
23rd this month we'll have homecoming. Anybody that'd like to come is more than welcome.
I hear you got a pretty good piano player out there.
Well,
Yeah, we do. Yes, he does.
That's what I
he
hear.
does a pretty good job.
We get by.
I thought they got a pretty good song leader too.
Yeah.
Well, the
But,
music program is really good. No, we have a good time out there. We really do.
Well, I tell
We
everybody
have
every
good
Sunday
time.
morning, you never know what's going to happen, but you got to be here to see it.
That's right.
Because it gets interesting.
Hey, we're all good
days.
friends out there. We've been going to church together for, my goodness, I don't remember when I didn't go to church with the majority of these people since I was a kid. Don't remember when I didn't know the majority of them. So, I mean, we're glad to have you. And then we've got Bible school coming up this summer as well that I'm sure we'll get on. But homecoming, we've got a guest pastor coming.
Dale Ford, he preached there a few years ago, and he'll be back to do our homecoming. If you hadn't heard him, you ought to come hear him. He does a fine job. He does a good job.
He does a real good job. And
does a
then
good job.
of course, I hear we have some really good ham and fried chicken. We've got special music.
Well, we're Baptists. You got to have chicken.
Well, that's what. See,
I
that's
mean, duh.
that's what
Fried chicken and chocolate pie will be had.
when you talk homecoming, see, you start thinking, what's going to be on the table too. Besides the message, man, it's the food. isn't it?
Hey, we have people, no joke, that do come for the food.
Oh, I don't
Because
doubt it a
there's-
bit.
Hey, we don't mind a bit. We don't care why you come. Just
Hey,
come.
we have a gentleman that comes every time and wants a piece of raisin cream pie. And that's something that I make about one time a
That's
year,
yours?
once or two. That's right.
Oh, man.
Just a couple of times a year. That's special for homecoming and fish fry. Fish fry will be this fall. We'll let you know.
And I'd like to also mention that at that time, once a year, we take up a offering
Yes.
to take care of our cemetery, to keep our cemetery taken care of. A lot of people think, well, it's kind of a small cemetery, and it is, but we got a lot of room in it. And it takes a lot to maintain it and to keep it looking good. So once a year during our homecoming, we take up a cemetery offering to help take care of the cemetery, offset some of the costs and things. And we also take donations. If anybody'd like to donate to our cemetery, we do have a lot of people that has family that has been members of the church and that has places there that are good about donating and helping out the cemetery. But but we like to let people know that anytime somebody'd like to donate to our cemetery for that has somebody possibly buried there or would just like to help us keep it up, and take care of it.
We take volunteers, man. Don't we?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
snub our nose to those.
And if you come for very long, we got one that'll volunteer you.
That's right. That's my daddy.
Oh,
I'll tattle on him.
Yeah.
That's one of your deacons right there,
Yes.
my daddy.
And he's good at it.
He's known for nominating people. If you sit still very long, my daddy will find a job for you.
Yes, he will.
Brother Lynn, how long have you pastored out there at Sugar Creek?
This will be my 4th year.
All right.
I was there for about a year as interim, and this will be about my 4th year, my 3rd. Yeah, going on 4 years.
That
I
church
guess.
has been out there for a while.
His
Been there
dad
a
was
long
the
time.
pastor a long time ago.
Yeah, my daddy.
I thought that he was.
My great uncle was pastor there for years.
Tell us a little bit about the history of Sugar Creek. What you know about it? You know much about it?
We know a lot about it.
Hey, some things you don't need to talk about.
Will it take the rest of 20 minutes?
It might take a while.
Yeah.
I've heard some stories.
You've heard stories?
I've heard some stories.
Sugar
and
Creek
things,
started out there, out in that area,
Yes,
right
it
out in the
did.
Friar community.
Okay.
Yeah.
right off of Nichols Road, and it was
Yep.
actually in Claude Boynton's kitchen.
Yes, it was.
And that's Uncle Claude.
See, that's good stuff.
It is.
know,
It started out there because there wasn't a church, and they didn't want to ride their wagons all the way to town to Northside, and that's how they had to do it. So they said, you know what? We're going to start a Sunday school. And
Yep.
my uncle said, you know what? Hey, I've got a kitchen. Come on out here, and we'll
That's
start
kinda-
Sunday school here. And that's where they started it at. And it was out on Nichols Road. And they finally got enough people to stay there. And then they said, you know what? Let's get some land donated. So they had some land donated. And then Brother Harrell Greenfield was the very first pastor. And he donated his time as well. And they put that church together. And there was somewhere around 50-something.
He was 17 years old when he started.
My
Goodness
daddy
gracious.
was actually the
When
first
Harold
person he ever baptized, and it was right out there at Sugar Creek. So I mean,
Long, good history
we've had
here.
a long
We've got a
history
lot of
with a lot of
history.
people.
There's
So
a lot
that-
of history there.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Well, we appreciate you being here,
Yeah.
and we've got one next door to you that come right down the road as well.
Yeah.
Brother Wesley Curtis, and that's Eddie Creek, correct?
No.
You know what? Where'd you come from?
Midway.
Midway. I don't know why I always want to call that Eddie Creek. It's
126.
Midway.
26.
As Lynn shakes his head at me.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So where are
Yeah.
you at now?
I'm at Green Grove Baptist Church in Providence, Kentucky.
Well, now you're also in charge of doing a lot of the music in this area for the Caldwell Lion Baptist Association.
I am. I'm still busy with that.
And you're the man to know about what music is coming into the area as well, right?
Well, I'm about the one that could get reached. If there's a group coming, I'll be the first to know. So,
Well, tell us all about it. Who's coming?
well, in a couple of weeks, we'll have the Old Pass Quartet with us at Green Grove on a Friday night, June 21st, at 6:30. This is the first time I got to have this group in our area. Something I've been wanted to have because I got a friend that sings in the group. We've been friends for several years, and so he's always said, "When you gonna get me in your area?" I said, "Well, I'm trying." I said, we're gonna work on it and stuff. So, but it all worked out this year to have them come in. So looking forward to them. The Old Pass Quartet from Georgia will be with us on June 21st.
That's a long way, away from home,
Absolutely.
from Georgia.
Wesley goes down and gets right in the middle of the Southern Baptist Quartet Convention. It's usually down around Pigeon Forge,
Yep.
Tennessee. And also, this guy just, he's a singer. He can sing himself. I hear yeah. And then
Yes.
tell us about this passion of gospel music that you've had. You've had it for a good while, since you were a young man.
For most of my life, I mean, growing up listening to it, and it's just something you get attached to and stuff, and listen to some of the older groups, the Cathedrals, J.D. Summer Stamps, Goodman's, all them. I mean, just amazing and stuff. So, just growing up listening to that, and then just, getting into it and stuff.
We got to say hi to your sister.
Yeah, my
Your sister deserves a little plug in
yeah,
there.
and my sister Krista. It's funny how we started singing together.
Yeah, y'all were a duet, right? Or
Yeah,
still
we're-
are, I guess.
Still are.
Yes.
Not doing a lot since I'm pastoring now, and Krista being a mama, and
The prettiest little thing you've
yeah,
ever seen in your
and-
life.
yeah. Well, we're expecting 2 more coming.
Oh,
Put a plug in on that one.
Oh, my
Well,
goodness.
yeah.
That's
you
wonderful.
heard it here.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Krista.
Yeah, but it's a funny story. Not too far from Sugar Creek is a little church called Fairview Baptist Church, and we grew up in that church. Teenage years and stuff. And there was a family in that group in that church called the Howard family, and they sung. And back in 1993, that's when we had the snowstorm before the ice storm hit in 2009. There was a little lady lives in Cadiz, whose husband was former pastor of that church, and he passed away, and their funeral was during that 93 storm. And they needed a piano player. My mom played piano, and so this lady called her up and asked to play for this group that my mom and us never heard of. So she went and played, and long story short, that's how we got to Fairview. And this family kind of got me and Krista singing together, and that's been over 15 years almost now. So
Wow.
it's just an amazing thing.
So you said you've kind of, with your schedules are kind of busy, but you all come out and sing for special events, right? Whether it's special singing somewhere at a church or some other event.
Yeah, right now, with me pastoring and Krista living in Cadiz, it's kind of hard. We've done one singing on a Sunday afternoon over in Providence for a homecoming a couple of weeks ago, but mostly, like revivals, middle of the week stuff where we can work things to get together and stuff. That's basically what we're doing, but not doing a lot. And probably with two twins coming in
make it even
September,
harder, isn't it?
It's gonna be
Let me enlighten you. No, I'm not going to, because that'll scare you, but I'm not going to do that.
yeah, and stuff. So, but,
Well, you got two arms. That's why God gave you two arms, one for each arm.
Yeah,
There you
one
go.
for each arm, and Gracie to sit in the lap. So
I don't think I've ever seen Wesley's face light up any more than I did when he was looking at little Gracie.
Well, I know he's a good uncle.
He is. He's a really good uncle. I think he spoils her rotten.
So
just a little bit.
just a little bit. Tell us now, you also remember the Princeton Optimist Club,
Right.
and you schedule, of course, our singing for Black Patch. And tell us about that one.
Well, Black Patch will be September 7th, which I'll put in a little plug. That's going to be a national holiday because that's my birthday, so the whole town's...
Uh-oh.
I see.
The whole town's throwing me a
A
party.
Black Patch
Hey.
birthday.
Yeah. This is our 15th year.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe it. It's 15 years. It just seemed like yesterday when we started it. So we're celebrating 15 years this year with a wonderful, high-quality group. We're having a tribute quartet. They're out of Hendersonville, Tennessee. Been around for many years. I got to hear them other night in Cadiz. They were at Canton Baptist Church. Got to go down there and hear them. And I just were blown away, excited to have them come and stuff. So
We're in for a treat come Black Patch, aren't we?
We're in for a treat.
Well, and that's really, there's a lot of people that show up to that as well. My son Eli loves that concert. That's something him and his grandma goes to every
Eli's
year.
our biggest fan. I got to admit. And stuff.
He does. He really enjoys that. But that's something that, most people really do. It's a packed house every year.
It's become one of the biggest events during the Black Patch. We have people not just here in Caldwell County, Princeton area, but we have several from surrounding areas, and some out of state too. There's been, especially when Quartet Convention was going on in Louisville, I remember there were some folks from Michigan who was coming to convention, heard about a group that we were going to have. They would come early, stop in Princeton, listen to them, and then head up to Louisville.
Well, there you
and
go.
Stuff. So it's just amazing of the talents we've had
Right.
here, and because of who we've had in the past, there's occasionally they may come back. Not just for Black Patch, but other events.
I will say, in the last few years, we've had a lot of groups come throughout the year, not just at one time, but
Right.
throughout the year. We've had a lot of them kind of stop in
Right.
and seem to show up at different churches at different times.
Yeah.
So you just got to keep your ears open, and you never know who's going to show up and when, huh?
Right, that's right. And we have several that are scheduled in the coming months, and we're working on some other dates too as well. So it's just you never know who's going to show up in Princeton or Providence and the surrounding areas.
Well, thank you so much for coming. We sure do appreciate
I
it.
appreciate y'all too.
We love
appreciate
ya.
the radio station for helping us spread the word and stuff. And I will say on the Black Patch, we are still working on taking up donations for it. All the letters have been sent out to the churches and stuff. And so just want to know if you want to do a donation, you can contact me at 270-625-3512 on my Facebook page. Send me a message, and we appreciate all the support. We in the 15 years this has been a free event to come in. We don't set an admission to get into the door. All we ask is to give something during the offering, and all those proceeds go towards the next year. And I mean, after this year, after September singing's over, it's a couple of weeks and we're already for
You're planning again,
We're
aren't you?
already planning.
Oh, he's
again.
talking. Don't let him kid you. He's talking like less than 24 hours afterwards. He's already on it.
We have done that.
Yeah.
We have done that. Too,
No doubt
so-
about it.
Well, thank you so much. We love you, Krista.
Love y'all too.
Congratulations. I'm glad we got to break the news. I mean, that's that's the kind of news I like to break. I don't know about you. Stick around. We're going to change gears here in just a second. It's 71 at 848 WPKY.